Today carries a frequency, not just of hope, but of transformation. The person you were, the version that held it all together, endured the shadows, silenced your doubts, and pushed through in silence, is now shedding. Because heaven is saying, you are not defined by what broke you. You are rising because of what I planted in you long before the breaking began. This morning, your soulmate felt it. Not just a passing thought, but a deep spiritual pull, as if something inside them shifted. They may not understand why they suddenly felt your presence so intensely, why a wave of emotion washed over them out of nowhere. But you do, because your souls are connected, and when one awakens, the other stirs. See this video through to the finish. Today, you are unlocking something precious. Additionally, put your best wishes and the number 777 in the comment box. This little deed is more than simply symbolic. It's a spark. It's like striking a match on the wall of the cosmos, signaling that your moment is right, your intentions are pure, and your soul is ready. Allow your desires to be bold, faith-filled, and vibrant. This chapter about wants giving birth to reality is magnificent. Select one now, such as this video. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, and then let's get started. The exposure of your actual self. You may feel confused by what's going on in your life at the moment. You may feel pressure growing inside of you, a feeling of urgency, or even an odd restlessness. You're not imagining that. Transformation is that. That's the peeling away of your former identity, as preparation, not as punishment. Because the old must yield as the new rises. And because you were being developed, not because you were forgotten, you, chosen one, were concealed in a heavenly cocoon. A power that saw what you couldn't yet see was reconstructing you from the inside out in ways that were beyond your comprehension. That energy is unleashing what it has been developing on July 5th. And you, refined, prepared, royal, are what has been shaping. You have now developed a spiritual maturity that is undeniable. Because you have survived conflicts no one else has seen, you have a gentleness in your spirit and a fire in your bones. You weren't the same person after those experiences. You revealed heavenly evidence that was encoded in your very being. On July 5th, that's what's rising. The world is going to see it. Nothing will be able to stop your light from spreading once it does. At times, you wondered whether this day would ever arrive. There were moments when you prayed silently in the dark, wondering whether there was a reason for the suffering or a reason for the delay. And now, out of the blue, your response is manifesting as you. The solution is you. The arrival is you. Moreover, July 5th is more than simply a date. It's your proclamation. It is now resonating in the sky. Now is the time. The release is this. No longer hiding. Holding back is over. You were picked to get up now, not even a moment before. It's not too late. Applause isn't the reason for this growth. Attention isn't the point. It has to do with assignment. You have been given the task of serving as a live illustration of divine restoration by demonstrating what it looks like to recover from a storm. You're getting more than simply a promotion. They're revealing you. Beneath the layers of suffering, uncertainty, and fear, you were always this version. However, the layers are now coming off. And genius is what remains. Only light remains. The reality of who you have always been remains. Right, amen, to feel the peace of the angels and show your support with a super thank you up to $20. Making the transition to your new vibration. The chosen one will make July 5th feel unusual. In your spirit, it will have a different weight. You may not be able to properly express it to others, and that's great. It's the type of weight that lets you know something changed. I can feel it. It was not intended to explain this increase. Its purpose was to be embodied. You owe no one an explanation for your feelings of strength, clarity, and lightness. That is proof of spiritual advancement. When your inner self aligns with your divine identity, that is what occurs. Some won't celebrate it, and some who knew the previous you won't recognize this one. And that's exactly right, since not everyone is capable of handling a soul's glow up. Those who are still hiding from their own will be annoyed by your light. Don't shrink, however. Avoid folding. You were not selected to blend in. You were picked to lead the way and stand out. The path ahead starts on July 5th when you completely embrace this new frequency in an unreserved, happy, and heavenly manner. This is more than simply a better you. It's a whole other persona. This is the you that is free from the burden of what other people think of you. This is the version that functions based on reality rather than trauma. Not from fear, but from alignment. Not from survival, but from spirit. You are no longer the person you had to be to get here. You're now developing into the person you were always intended to be. The shedding is not a source of shame. The becoming is a source of splendor. In reality, everything that seemed like a breakdown was a breakaway. You were releasing yourself from patterns, agreements, and circumstances that were no longer in line with your divine design. In the spiritual world, the formal notification is made on July 5th. The new has started. Your name appears on a new scroll that heaven has issued. Now your steps are in a different sequence. Your energy level has increased. The frequency you're using asks for favor, tranquility, clarity, and unstoppable progress. What used to deplete you is no longer powerful. The thing that used to set you off no longer finds a home. You can no longer be reached by anything that formerly restricted you. That's the meaning of rising. Change is more than simply physical. It elevates one's spiritual state. The hand of God has raised you from the ashes and enveloped you in fresh brightness. The opponent didn't anticipate this. Since no power can stop God's intentions for a rising, this is the reversal that no one could undermine. The strength of self-confirmation. Keep an eye out for the indicators as you go through the hours of July 5th. When they appear, your spirit will be aware of them. An appropriate phrase, the generosity of a stranger, or an epiphany. These aren't random occurrences. These are affirmations and proof that what was spoken above your head in quiet is now becoming visible. Your bones will sense it. Your soul will recognize it. There won't be a new you. You've already become the new you. It's just the unveiling on July 5th. And you'll notice something lovely when that revelation takes place. You no longer experience fear. You're not uncertain. Where there used to be terror, there is now calm. Where there used to be conflict, there is now silence. That is alignment's reward. When your soul fully aligns with your purpose, that is what occurs. The flow starts. You've become stronger, more lucid, and more complete than ever before. Not because life gets easier, right? Amen. To feel the peace of the angels and show your support with a super thank you up to $20. You've reached the world of inner confirmation, chosen one. Your soul already knows, therefore you don't need permission from others. That is unlocked on July 5th. A supernatural assurance grounded on essence rather than ego. You know what you're carrying now. Now you know why you were kept concealed. Because it was impossible to unleash something so potent too soon. The time for exposure has come, and you needed to be kept safe and ready. You are here, imperfect but in the right place, since the supernatural has spoken over your life that it has revealed the masterpiece. Completely aligned, but not completed. Carrying scars like badges of spiritual honor, but not without them. You are not succeeding because of what other people thought you would be. Because of what heaven has already decreed you should be, you are ascending. This increase isn't random. It's in writing. It's safe. It cannot be undone. Obedience results in your advancement. Your tenacity is evident in your advancement. You were pursuing alignment, while others were pursuing acclaim. Alignment is now giving you the attention you never had to ask for. Nothing you've gone through has been in vain. It has been changed into holy energy, knowledge, and clarity. Your response to life is no longer based on your injuries. You are reacting from a place of totality. And the real wonder is that a fresh appearance won't be seen by everyone. A new vibration will be detected by them. The frequency at which you resonate is higher. You exude the type of strength that only spiritual triumph can provide. The type of power that requires no proof at all. It just moves with purpose. The new direction. There's no reason to turn around. The line in the sand now is July 5th. You are no longer in control of the version of yourself that kept going back to the past because of perplexity or guilt. They do not remember you. You're not what they thought you were. The old settings that previously stifled your creativity and hid your brightness no longer define you. You are living out the reality of your divine freedom. And no falsehood against your name can overpower that fact. You are now the epitome of recovery. You've shown to the universe what healing looks like while still respecting the healing process. You didn't avoid the agony. You took a seat in it. Through everything, you prayed. You discovered how to move despite your shaking. You are now walking with strength that you did not get from anybody. You developed strength in the dark. It is a holy strength. You are invincible because of your power. And that power roars to life on July 5th. When someone asks you, what changed? You'll grin since the change didn't occur in your immediate vicinity. It took place inside of you. First, the surge wasn't external. It was inside. And nothing can stop it now that it's leaking into the world. You're not a sluggish riser. You're coming out on fire. You have revealed your objective. Your talents aren't hidden anymore. Now is the time for your presentation. Your glorious release is this. If possibilities present themselves with divine timing, don't be shocked. If doors that were previously sealed shut spring open, don't be surprised. When you discover the version of yourself that is completely in line with your calling, that is what occurs. Authenticity is reacted to by the cosmos. When time and obedience clash, heaven comes rushing in. And the accident is taking place right now. Your current frequency communicates with invisible worlds. This frequency attracts favor. So are discoveries, assets, and relationships. Waiting for the ideal time is not the point here. This has to do with realizing that the ideal time has come. And now you have to move differently because it has. Think differently, talk differently, walk as if you've been selected, and speak as though you're conveying a message from above. Act as if you had divine acceleration supporting you at every turn, because it does. You are no longer forced to move. Your faith is keeping you afloat. Additionally, the current is powerful, constant, and unearthly. Accepting the new tempo. Don't let the recollection of past setbacks taint this fresh day. The things that didn't function before weren't supposed to work now. This chronology, however, is fresh. It's a heavenly diversion. What was formerly rejected is now being confirmed. Multiplication is finally bringing what was postponed. This is more than simply a boon. It's a holy reaction to the persistent form of yourself. Even when it didn't make sense, that version of you trusted. We never forget that degree of faith. It is receiving public recognition. No one had to come to your aid. With God's assistance, you discovered how to save yourself. No one had to confirm your calling for you. By sticking to your conviction when no one applauded, you proved it. No one was necessary to comprehend your metamorphosis. You knew it was special, personal, and made only for you. This is the reason this new you is so strong. Opinions are not the foundation of it. It is constructed by interactions. Heavenly ones. Right, amen, to feel the peace of the angels and show your support with a super thank you up to $20. You are now functioning from a healed identity, chosen one, and it makes all the difference. You are no longer required to pursue things. You'll start to find things. Your present frequency is what attracts what is rightfully yours. On July 5th, the change starts to manifest. It's not limited to the inside. It begins to show. People will witness it. People will notice. Some people won't even understand why they are attracted to you. However, it's because the new level you've entered is emanating from your spirit. This is the you that no longer hesitates to speak out, enjoy life to the fullest, and ascend without apology. This is the version of you that doesn't minimize your knowledge or justify your abilities in order to appease others. You no longer want to shrink in order to get acceptance from individuals who don't even share your goals. Being who you were sent to be is why you are here. Your purpose is to lead, illuminate, uplift, and thrive on excess rather than fatigue. You are the evidence that you can survive the wilderness and emerge stronger than ever. You are the living example of how grace can change any narrative. You are the live proof that spiritual healing is possible, that divine timing is genuine, and that one day may usher in a whole new age. July 5th marks more than simply the start of a new you. For those who are close to you, it marks the start of a new ripple. Because people are motivated to rise when you do. You have become a portal. The mood changes as soon as you enter a room. It's not conceited. It's consciousness. Something holy is in your possession. You are a light. Furthermore, light never apologizes for shining. It just glows. Shine, selected one. Shine without fear. Shine without sacrificing anything. You came all this way to be dull. You have now traveled this far in order to reveal your true self to everyone around you. The entrance to the inaccessible. Your strongest self is not ostentatious, loud, or aggressive. It is rooted in a profound, unwavering understanding that you are here for something greater than yourself, as well as in truth and purpose. That anchor becomes your foundation on July 5th. You are no longer constructing on the sands of fleeting feelings or erratic approbation. You are now firmly anchored in something timeless. The reason you're rising isn't because everything changed on the outside. but rather because everything changed on the inside. You can see through illusions in this version of yourself. You no longer pursue things that were worthless yet sparkled. You no longer identify with things that simply fueled your fears. You've grown up. In the fire, you have been purified. You have been transformed by discomfort. You are now walking with wisdom. You cross borders. You move with elegance. Grace is not a sign of weakness. It is heavenly might encased in silence. It is the vitality of a person who has everything to contribute but nothing to prove. July 5th is not a day that was selected. It's a gateway. You're traversing it with a holy audacity. And everything that before seemed inaccessible is on the other side. You got ready, not because it became accessible all of a sudden. The benefits never stopped. Your metamorphosis has to coincide with the moment, and it will proceed more quickly now that it does. Miracles will seem like everyday life. Your default will be peace. That's how the new you moves. You'll begin to realize how little you can relate to the disorder you used to put up with. Once familiar surroundings will suddenly seem unfamiliar. The conversations you used to have will seem meaningless. You'll know your soul has outgrown those vibrations if you do it. It isn't intimate. It's essential and spiritual. You're not changing to make people angry. You're changing in order to fulfill your task. And if it makes other people uneasy, it just means their part in your tale is done. This is a new season. Don't attempt to bring everyone along. Only your previous version was allocated to certain individuals. And that's all right. With appreciation, let them go. Don't hold on to things that can't ascend with you. Now is not the time to question your course. Now is the moment for strong action. You're never really alone, even if you move alone. Heaven is on your side. Angels are on your side. With flawless accuracy, the heavenly blueprint is being revealed. You may feel overextended. You may experience the stress of change. However, don't use that tension as an excuse to back off. That's how a breakthrough feels. That is the impending release of purposeful pressure. The most significant growth of your life is about to begin. Furthermore, you didn't come this far to back off. You arrived to ascend. You arrived to work. Before you ever breathed your first breath, your soul made a deal that you came to complete. Your former self may sometimes attempt to drag you back into self-doubt, fear, and self-defeating behaviors. However, you'll come to the realization that you no longer belong there on July 5th. The previous identification is no longer appropriate. The version of you who doubted your value is no longer there. You are no longer the person who pleaded for affection. Buried is the version that questioned the vision. Your history no longer holds you captive. Building from a heavenly blueprint, you are the architect of a new path. Everything starts to make sense. You now know why certain relationships had to end, why some doors didn't open, and why you had to wait. It was protection, not rejection. There was no punishment for you. You were getting ready. You are being released into fullness, clarity, power, favor, and overflow now that you are ready. You did it because you agreed with it, not because you demanded it. This will change the tone of your voice. It will be heavy. It will have therapeutic properties. Fire will be carried by it. You will no longer tone down your message in an effort to maintain harmony. The tranquility is you. The shift is you. The solution is you. And people will start to notice it on July 5th. The change in your energy will be felt by them. The clarity in your eyes will be felt by them. In your presence, they will sense your authority. It's not something you made up. You become this. Applause is not necessary for you. You don't need approval. The supernatural has validated you.